Many lemon cakes that you have kind of a subtle lemon flavor, and this is not one of those desserts. The lemon flavor is very forward and very present, and the glaze provides just a slight, crisped exterior to an otherwise incredibly soft cake.
Hi, I'm Micah, and I'm going to walk you through my recipe for a lemon poppy seed cake. It's a loaf cake that is bright and lemony, while also being moist and incredibly easy to slice. Here we go. So in my bowl, I'm going to combine 1 cup of granulated sugar with 1 2/3 cups of all-purpose flour. And I'm just gonna whisk this to combine it. Rather than using anything that's not natural, like a lemon oil or extract from a bottle, we're going to make the lemon flavor from this cake come from these 2 lemons. I'm going to now zest these 2 lemons into this mixture and whisk pretty aggressively so that the sugar, which acts as an abrasive, pulls out all of those lemon oils into the batter. The idea is you want to rub the lemon zest against the sugar and the flour so that the lemon flavor coats everything. You can tell that you're getting the job done because as you continue whisking, you just get hit with this massive waft of lemon. It smells really, really incredible. Okay, this is now incorporated, and so I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 full teaspoon of kosher salt, and then 1.5 tablespoons of poppy seeds. We're going to use more poppy seeds to decorate the surface after we add the lemon glaze when the cake's done baking. So just whisk to incorporate these ingredients. And we're going to set this bowl aside for just a moment to mix together the liquid ingredients before we add those in. Into this separate bowl, I'm going to add 1 cup of sour cream, 2 whole eggs, 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I'm just gonna whisk these ingredients together until they're well incorporated. To my left here, I have my 2 lemons that I zested to put into the dry ingredients. We're now going to cut these lemons in half and squeeze the juice of both of these lemons into our liquid ingredients. In addition to adding really wonderful lemony flavor, the lemon juice also adds a tenderness to the cake, and it lends a brightness that makes the cake incredibly fragrant and flavorful, tasting a lot like something you'd want to eat in spring or summer, but frankly is delicious year-round. Okay, so I'm now going to add in my liquid ingredients to my dry ingredients and whisk until everything is well combined and there are no dry pockets of flour remaining. I'm going to transfer my batter into a greased 9x5 loaf pan that I've also lined with some parchment paper just to make sure that the cake comes out really easy after it's done baking. Okay, so I'm gonna pour this batter into my pan. I'm going to level it out, and then I'm going to throw it into my 350-degree oven for about 40 to 45 minutes until a toothpick inserted into the center of the cake comes out clean. My cake is done baking and it's out of the oven cooling. You don't want to glaze it until it is completely cooled. But while it's cooling, you can go ahead and make your glaze. And this is probably the easiest and most flavorful lemon glaze you'll ever learn how to make. So right here I have 1 1/4 cups of powdered sugar, and this is the 3rd lemon called for in the recipe. And so what I'm going to do with this lemon is I'm going to zest it and put the zest into the powdered sugar. And then I'm going to cut the lemon in half and squeeze the juice into the powdered sugar and mix until it's fully combined. Your average lemon has about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice in it, but that's obviously subject to the size of the lemon. And so the lemon that I used had a little bit more than 2 tablespoons, and that's why in the recipe I make a note that if your glaze is too thin and too runny, you can add more powdered sugar and just do it by sight until it looks thick enough to glaze the cake. If you notice that your glaze is a little too thick, that maybe your lemon was a little too small, then you can have a little water on hand to add as well to thin the glaze to the perfect consistency. The glaze should be thick enough that when you pull up a spoon and allow it to fall, the shape of the ribbons and the clumps that fall down remains for just a few seconds before dissolving into the rest of the icing. My cake has been taken out of the pan and it is now cooled to room temperature, and so I'm going to glaze it and cover it with a sprinkling of poppy seeds. As the glaze sets, it's going to drip down the side and create a beautiful dripped effect all the way around the cake. And because the glaze is just made up of powdered sugar and a liquid, the lemon juice, it's going to dry slightly and create a really wonderful exterior to the cake. So we're going to let it sit to dry completely. Lastly, if you look at it, you can see that it has the specks of yellow from the lemon zest, which also give the glaze a really rich lemony flavor. And then the purplish blue of the poppy seeds provides a gorgeous contrast to the white and the yellow of the glaze. When we cut into it, you'll see specks of poppy seed all throughout the crumb of the cake. It's a really, really eye-catching dessert that I can't wait to get into. You can see that the glaze is now set because it's dry to the touch. And the poppy seeds, because we applied them when the glaze was still wet, are stuck to the surface, so they're not going to fall off and go everywhere. Now we get to cut into the cake. You can see that the crumb is really soft and the poppy seeds are dispersed evenly throughout the crumb. The inside of the cake is remarkably moist, and that's due to the vegetable oil and the lemon juice that are mixed into the batter. Aside from the moistness, it's rich, it's balanced from the salt that's added into the recipe, and it's incredibly bright and flavorful. Many lemon cakes that you have kind of a subtle lemon flavor, and this is not one of those desserts. The lemon flavor is very forward and very present, and the glaze provides just a slight, crisped exterior to an otherwise incredibly soft cake. I promise if you give this one a try, you'll be certain to make it again. If you've enjoyed what you've watched today, subscribe to the Southern Living YouTube channel to find other videos that you're sure to enjoy. Thanks so much. Bye.